Linkara. This comic sucks. Linkara sits down nonetheless and forces himself through it. A poorly written, ugly mess, but someone's gotta do it. And it's right about time he did. They made Watchmen without the slimy squid, and he'll have you know that that's pretty low, but not quite like the standards of the 90s kid. Setting ablaze crossovers, one-shots and tie-ins, Linkara stands in reality defiance atop the fourth wall, looking down on us all. Of course, don't you know anything about science? There would be better books on his shelf. Quesada sold them to Mephisto, and now there's nothing left to do but yeah, the scrapings at the bottom of the barrel with you, Linkara. He is a man punch. What's that on his arm, Linkara? Can't seem to fix the continuity alarm, Linkara. Rock and roll, insane, some fella in a tux, Linkara. This comic sucks, Linkara.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall. Bad comics burn. Alright, welcome to podcast.
Welcome
whatever.
to Sleep Deprived Podcast, not affiliated with the official Sleep Deprived Podcast.
Yeah,
The Johnson Report, that's what I was just called.
Mhm.
Welcome to the Johnson Report.
Today we'll be doing assignment, whatever, who cares.
We got off Terraria for this, Miss Hall. I'm not happy.
We got off the game.
But I'm not allowed to complain, though.
Yeah. So
All right.
anyway, we're talking about like the perception of war and violence during World War II.
And the draft. We're talking about the draft. We'll
then,
touch on the draft.
And then like how it compares to Vietnam.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We'll start with
Vietnam?
comparison, I guess.
Comparison? Okay. So basically, World War II is definitely not as much televised.
It was yeah. I mean,
Judging that TVs just didn't.
it was definitely there was definitely propaganda. You know, like posters everywhere. I mean, the
There's
radio.
like. Shut up. Sorry, that was mean. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, that was mean.
That was mean. But there's that
Simon,
whole.
That's a bit peeved at you right now.
I
Peeved.
am.
Oh,
He
he doesn't care.
Oh my god, I'm actually freaking.
You just got okay-anded.
I'm Jack right now, and he's Armstrong.
Yeah.
Put that gif in. Anyway, so basically, World War II, you know, the mass public was kind of kept out of the loop. Besides, like, what few classified like notes met the news. It was kind of sparse, kind of sparse. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, the Vietnam War was a little smaller. It was a proxy war rather than a world war.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it any less bad.
no.
Or bad.
Yeah, World War II didn't show U.S. troops gunning down just Vietnamese citizens.
Yeah, civilians. That, not a proud time.
That was a my
For our
bad.
nation.
Well, there was
Yeah.
also just generally less of that in the world wars.
Yeah, I mean, they usually tried to avoid citizens aside from bombing major cities. But,
Yeah.
they kind of kept the fighting to the battlefield rather than the entire country.
It didn't help.
Well-
but, like, well,
Another thing to think about is this type of warfare that was being fought. Guerrilla warfare was vastly different from the standard soldier-based.
I mean, that's true, and there was that sense of, like, any of these civilians could whip out a pistol and shoot me in the head. But, I mean, gunning them all down?
Doesn't justify it.
no,
But-
Yeah,
definitely
no.
not. There's
You
that
can
fear
get into
that,
the
like,
mindset of the average soldier.
there's that fear that, like, okay, we're sitting at this camp. These people look friendly, but once I go to sleep, there's a piece of lead that's gonna go through my head.
Yeah, they're going to pull out a large LMG as soon as they get close enough, and I don't stand a chance anymore after that,
Holstering it in their freaking bag of holding.
rather. Hey, man, look.
Yeah, they pull out a
It's
great
getting late.
sword and they charge at you.
Yeah, they pull out their
Blade.
ebony greatsword. their
Yeah, but
Orcish
Does
greatsword, and
1d12 of damage.
they go, why won't you die?
Oh.
And then
anyway,
you try to blast them with sparks, and
yeah,
it
but
doesn't work, and they just kill
Vietnam
you.
War was gonna be like directly televised to the masses,
Oh.
so they got to see this firsthand. And like you can see a direct correlation of how like we treated Vietnam veterans in the beginning, like when they were coming back, and World War II veterans or like survivors.
Mhm.
Because like we watched a really funny Family Guy bit where they spit on the veterans. I
All
get
right.
that.
I don't know if we should play that.
Don't play that clip.
I wasn't planning
I
on
don't
it.
think. I don't think we should play
To
Family
be
Guy.
honest, I was gonna veto that one if you asked.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I know you were. Anyway.
we're not. I'm not even. We are bold enough, Simon.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, but no, it's like,
Thank you to Owen for interrupting.
look, we're tired, Miss Hall. I know you are too. This is like
All
2
right.
weeks after.
So we've been. We started at 10 o'clock on the dot. We've been going 5 minutes now. I think we need to go to 10 minutes at least talking about this one if we're gonna make this a decent.
And the Linkara entry. Should.
Yeah, the Linkar intro that'll add some time. Well, we've covered a lot of the compare and contrast.
Well, no, you have to also think, yeah. So you know how like U.S. citizens they weren't really that involved. It's like, oh, that's a really far away place. Why should I care? But having it televised to them in their homes, you turn on the local Channel 5 news. Tom Tucker's sitting up there, and he shows you like, I'm gonna try family friendly, a whacking of like a whole village. It makes it a whole lot more personal.
Wait, is the draft 21 to 60? Or no, that was World War II.
Yeah, those were two.
World War II, it's 21 to 65.
Yeah.
Today, it's like 18 to 26 or something. 18 to 25. Okay.
Dang it! So we won't see PewDiePie out on the battlefield.
But like, again,
That's the current draft.
not
They can
again, but
change it.
I do say this a lot, but the likelihood of them reinstating the draft is pretty low. We got a pretty big military already.
Yeah, but Grant.
Seth, every
Russia's big. though, Grant.
straight white male,
Russia big.
every straight white male who doesn't want to go to college ends up going into the military.
Yeah.
Or
right.
does want to go to college and can't afford it.
Exactly. So they go to the military for the scholarship.
But anyway, the whole like televising it to them made it a whole lot more personal, and made the citizens like, oh, I care about these people that I don't know. This is bad.
Well, okay. See, World War II was very propaganda poster, and then people talking big about it, and they're like, time to go punch some Nazis, see?
World War
And then
World War II was also very like unified against the bad guys.
well, they had
it was the Nazis. They were
the Nazis were
massive,
bad.
They were murdering
people and
entire
Vietnam-
ethnicities and
Vietnam, I don't think America really knew which side to be on because we were kind of doing some pretty horrible things.
Vietnam was more of like an ideological warfare, and there was a lot of people. There were a lot of communists. Right? Like there were.
Mhm.
They weren't open about it because the CIA would have kidnapped them and put them in a ditch. But
Oh yeah,
there were a lot of people that
Even
sympathized
even
with some
like
of that.
anti-war liberals also existed. It's not like communists exclusively.
Well, yeah, but
Like-
there was just a lot of people who didn't necessarily think that
Dustin,
it was all
the
important.
white picket fence.
there's a lot of people who didn't think war was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they got called a Nancy boy, and then they sent their son to die.
Whereas in World War II, it was a pretty unified. Yeah, no, we need to stop them.
Yeah,
This needs.
and
to
it wasn't 18; it was 21. So like, they only drafted full adults.
Yeah.
Like full adults. I guess that's. I mean, at 18, you're a legal adult, but you don't quite have the experience.
No, you're still baby brain.
Well, even at
Yeah, you can't
21,
smoke.
Yeah, okay. 21, you're not exactly like the wise man of the military, but
You're still
I'd like to
not
say you're a
baby.
little more mature than an 18-year-old.
A little.
Miss Hall, I'm sorry we're not really philosophical right now.
I can get philosophical.
Dustin, take it away. The floor is yours.
I mean, what do you want me to get philosophical about?
Um, Vietnam and World War II comparison. Go.
I don't think there's a lot of room to get philosophical here. I
Well,
mean, there's not a lot of like depth.
largely it has to do with public perception.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, you get into that.
War is generally, believe it or not, it's looked down upon, and as
Yeah,
so long as the fear of the enemy isn't that great. I mean, yeah, a lot of war is fueled by paranoia, hatred for an enemy, etc., etc. We had that for Nazi Germany because obviously they're trying to do world conquest. We had the natural
They were
hatred for
the
them. Same
Nazis.
thing with the Japanese. We had the hatred for the Japanese. We had that entire thing going on. Vietnam's is something we kind of got ourselves involved in. It was a morale issue.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
just like we fought World War II. It was like major wars that
It
we
also
fought
on
in, and like how.
it
on
wasn't
the
really
home front
our
and on the
fight,
battlefield.
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Like
on the
it.
yeah.
home front and on the battlefield. Generally, people didn't want to fight in a land that they didn't really care too much about. On like the small scale, on what people were focusing on, it didn't make sense, fight and die in a small nation in
But yeah,
Indochina.
yeah, like they. We also kind of got pulled into World War II, right? But like the Vietnam
Mhm.
War, we were just like, all right, we're going over there. We're gonna fight them. We kind of
We
That
also
we didn't
that
thought
is
it was going to
instigate
be
we
it,
were the
easier
but
than it
aggressors
was.
it
comparative
wasn't.
to the defenders.
Yeah, it wasn't like a oh they shot us first kind of thing.
Hmm. I guess you could
Right.
kind of say that about like it was just like we went from fighting big wars that meant a lot and like could change
Uh-huh.
the world if we didn't.
What the Korean War is started the cracks in the fold. However, by that point, we were still war hawkish enough from our victories in World War II that was less so affected. Plus, a lot of the technologies that, like you said, publicized stuff
Hmm.
weren't exactly around then. Like
Yeah,
TVs were still not widely
well,
available.
these were like
People were
blowing
still getting
around
news
like
through the radio. Yeah,
1955.
and
I
that's
mean,
1951 to 19 something.
even if you go back to like the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, you've got like one side is, oh, I hate the British. I swear I'm gonna beat them British, and we're gonna get free rides for our country. Then the British side, you're like, oh my, those Americans are barbarians. They don't want to be part of the great England. Yeah, that unification. The Civil War, it was like, man, them Confederates, man, I hate them. And then you got, oh, them Union boys always fighting us.
The
And there
Civil
was always
Wars.
that unification, right? Except for Vietnam, where it was that one time when we got ourselves into like you were saying, we
You
got
can even
ourselves into a
compare
war that we didn't want to
Vietnam
fight.
to modern day conflicts like the Iraq War, our situation in Afghanistan, all that stuff. It's just kind of an unwinnable war because you're a foreign country in a hostile land,
You
but
haven't.
people don't
There's.
want you there.
You have. You're not even like help. The way you think you're helping. You just can't help. You're trying to butt in on something that's not meant for you to butt in on.
Mm-hmm. That was
All
kind
right.
of the common theme of American foreign politics for a while.
Yeah,
Just kind of like
it
jamming
still
a
is.
hand in there and being like, "Hey, stop it."
But we're the world's police.
It was.
No.
It had a lot to do with the fear of communism.
Hmm.
There was a
That's you could
Well, the
say that's where it
domino,
all
it's
started.
a big old problem.
well, the domino effect.
Oh my god. Laos and Cambodia. Teeth chattering together. They're next.
All right, you guys
And
want to?
well, wait, Simon, you said
Oh, okay, we're still going.
what were you saying, Simon?
Oh,
I was gonna say we want to talk about the draft.
I was just saying we kind of stick our hand places that we don't need to stick our hand.
The Monroe, not the Monroe, but Wilsonianism.
Oh my god, okay. The draft.
All right. Speaking of the draft, I got a segue. Vietnam War. That's like the worst the draft has ever been.
That's not a segue.
Yes, it is.
You can't just go. Speaking of the
Shut
draft,
up. Shut up, Simon. I'm gonna drive a Segway into the second story window of the White House.
Okay.
speaking of Sweden, they have Iron Man. That's cool.
You can't say that.
Yes, I can.
Speaking of Joe Biden,
I can say it, but they can't hold me accountable
Speaking of Joe Mama,
as long as I don't do it.
Anyway, what's the purpose of the draft? It's basically to conscript some unwanting teenagers who don't really want to do anything about it, or they do.
Well,
if we need
well, that's
more,
what the draft is, right? What the purpose of it is if we need people to throw to run to their deaths
We need some
as fodder, we have
we need
them.
some goblins, and the skeletons aren't ready.
well,
If we
it
have
started.
some young people who aren't even middle aged to throw at the enemy,
It
we
started
have
way
comparison.
back in like the medieval times when like the lords would go around and be like, you live in my land, we're going to fight a war, I need you to come
Well,
with me. And
medieval armies usually didn't draft their soldiers. It was largely either mercenary based or man at arms based.
But it
medieval
was
people were
the idea,
stupid, so they were like,
the idea
"Yeah, I'm
of
gonna
just
fight for my
going to
land."
your subjects and being like, hey, I need help, come with me. And then
Yeah.
as wars got bigger, they needed more people, and so eventually we
Modern
got to
day
a point.
draft.
Well, okay, the wars got bigger and weapons got more dangerous.
But yeah,
Collective
the wars got
purpose
bigger, and
is really
eventually we
hard.
got to a point where we needed more people than were willing to just sign up.
You could get your brain caved in from up
Ours
300
only
yards.
ancient examples of collective service. However, it like really gained prominence around like the 1700s upwards.
Well, the first like federal government like draft was in 1863 during that little thing that happened called the Civil War,
Yeah.
which was, I think, wasn't it like the bloodiest battle fought by America?
The Revolutionary War had the most deaths, or it was the bloodiest, I think. Was that is that or the Civil War? I can't
That's-
remember.
It was the
Civil
Civil
War.
War. It was the Civil War.
Okay.
Anyway, but that was basically like, hey, we need a bunch of
Oh,
bodies
jeez.
to just
My
go
mistake.
Yeah, and I mean it's not a horrible idea, right? It kind of makes sense.
No, it's okay.
but
From
it's
from a
just
standpoint,
not really needed.
not just morally, militarily wise, it's a dumb idea, and I'll tell you why. Simon, do
What?
you want to go fight in Cambodia right now to your death?
No.
Man, it's almost like if you don't want to do something, you're not gonna put all you have into it.
Yes.
Exactly.
But also, if we are being attacked, right? Like if we're in a war with someone, and we start running out of soldiers, do we just give up? Right? Do we just
Yeah.
oh
Well-
well, you can have our country? No, we're like, hey guys, we need you and you and you to
It
come
might
help.
make sense for like a smaller country that's like it
Yeah.
can't. It doesn't.
No,
have,
yeah, we
like,
don't
the
need it
manpower to
now, right? But like if like World War III, this is a little topical. If World War III broke out tomorrow, okay, right, and then we had like this like 20-year long war, right? We start running out of people. There's a reason for
Has
the
there
draft.
ever been a war that long?
No. Well, there's like the
What
100
do you
Years War,
mean?
but that was people on
That
horses,
was not-
like
that was not
marching
100
across
years.
Europe.
It was.
I don't think
There-
that war lasted 100
There,
years.
it literally
Is it?
was. It's called the 100 Years War for a reason.
Grant, I did research on it. It literally lasted for
But
100
Grant,
years.
it's only 100 years because it's people marching across Europe. It takes them like 3 years to get anywhere.
Yeah, it was-
98%.
No, I mean I
of it
don't
is
think it was 100 years of fighting.
No. Well,
Just blatant fighting all the time.
It
no.
was on off fighting.
But it
Like,
was 100
it wasn't
years.
like World War levels of fighting for 100
No.
years.
It was literally like
Well, there was-
England throwing troops at freaking France.
Well,
getting
I was in
territory,
freaking world history.
Take a couple years to be like, ooh.
and then they just run out of money. And they
I was
just-
in world history. I know what it was. I'm saying it wasn't. It was on-off fighting, like you said.
Yeah.
It wasn't like World
But
War
that's
level.
that's how
But
all
that's
wars
besides the
were.
point. That's besides the point. Continue what you were saying.
Oh, that's basically what I was saying. That my idea. That was
Oh,
the
okay.
whole thing. Was eventually, if we have like a big war, we're gonna need to draft, right? Like the little wars,
Well,
they'll be fine, right?
well,
Like
the thing is,
I don't think they should draft at 18.
if you go down to conscription, the problem with that is, yeah, you're gonna have people who are. It's basically it affects them like forgetting the word.
Is it really winning
Morale.
if you get an entire generation killed?
no, but if you get an entire generation killed, you've ruined your country already. So no,
Yeah,
you're not
exactly.
winning at all.
Exactly.
Cambodia.
You're not winning the war if you get your entire generation killed.
Mhm.
Well, well,
I don't want to be drafted.
If America today gets to the point of needing a draft, we have already lost.
But you don't have to sign up for the draft. You just surrender your right to vote, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Right? Like, if you really don't want to go, okay, you just
then
don't get to
I think
vote
at
on
this
things.
point, I think at this point there'd be enough political backlash to anyone who tried to implement the draft to where.
Oh no, yeah,
Oh,
no.
well, right
People would go
now, yeah.
absolutely insane if they tried to reinstate the draft.
Well, what are we instating it for? We already have like millions of people in our.
Dude,
That's what I
military.
keep saying. We have like such a big military. We don't need it.
Yeah.
Grant, I think people on it, like social media just would be like, oh, the World War draft.
And honestly, as much as these middle schoolers keep saying, "Oh, send me over, I will solve it." I mean, wow, if we need it, send them over. I guess if we're just gonna throw kids at a war.
We don't need the they/them army right now. Those are reserves.
What's sad if that's all we have?
And we're screwed.
That's what I was saying. If we get to the point of needing a draft in modern day, we've already
If we're
lost.
in the furry
No, we'd
femboys
be
over to fight
fine.
Ukraine, we've lost. We've lost.
The they/them army is not going to carry us to victory, Simon. I'm sorry.
They absolutely could. We have so many people.
Simon,
and
they're going to be fighting
wonderful
grizzly to
military.
Russian men who live in like negative.
I mean, they're going to be fighting
No,
the
okay,
Russian guys
but
that
you
do
were
push-ups with
assuming-
only their ankles.
You were
hold
assuming
on.
that we lost all our people and they didn't lose any of theirs, right? Because what
Yeah,
you
but-
see as the
Hold on.
Russian men doing like push-ups with just their legs is the equivalent of our like Marines, right? Like our freaking Navy SEALs.
You guys do realize
These are the
Russia
same
already
guys
ha-
that play
Russia
freaking
already
Take
has
on Me
conscription,
and
nobody wants to be in the Russian army.
Yeah, like they're defecting.
I know people.
I know. I absolutely know that half, like, not even more than half of Russia does not want to fight the war.
I've met people online who have literally fled the country because they didn't want to be drafted.
There was Ukraine offered amnesty to anyone who defected from the Russian military. They were just like, "Hey, you can come live with us, and Russia will give you a
Welcome to
free
the
ride over here if you
underground."
volunteer."
I think
Are we good?
this might be a bold statement, but I think society is getting to the point where wars are not going to be World War scale.
No, because
There's too many people that are just going to openly object and like defect from the army.
Eh.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be the same scale as like World War II.
I mean,
or
no.
World
If
War
I feel
One.
like if there was a like,
I just burn it.
I feel,
If freaking like the worst, if Hitler rises again, I mean, maybe we'll have another World War,
no, but
right?
no, I think if that happened, we would get what you're saying. There would be enough people in the country that just be like, "No, I'm not doing that." But I think if we had like World War One, where there are two sides and neither of them are really in the wrong, I think you really could
Well,
have a
until-
big war.
Well, okay, in that situation, yeah, if it's two sides fighting for what they believe in and neither of them are blatantly wrong, it's just a beliefs thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
you could
we'll have another World War.
I think you could have
Yeah.
a big war still.
But militaries and populations
Hey,
getting
Grant,
big
I
enough.
I know you will. I know you want to talk more, but we've gone on for 24 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to end it there, we can.
Yeah. Are we good? Anything
Sure.
that really
Alright.
needs to be said?
I think we got our points across.
Yeah.
We're bad.
We're bad.
We're bad. Actually, yeah, I agree. We're bad.
Put a
Draft
bunch of
bad.
clapping
War
and
bad.
Call me
cheering.
crazy.
Put a bunch of clapping and cheering. Real quick. Listen,
Yeah.
greatest thing you could have ever said, buddy.
I'm gonna address the nation.
Okay.
Are
okay.
you fellow Americans?
Oh.
War is bad.
Yeah.
Unless it is me in a hospital in a drone.
Ah,
Get me
yeah.
quick.
Obama. Don't look up Obama Hospital. Alright. Close it.
Obama.
End it.
Bye.